Northeast Portland at the Hollywood Theater. So glad you're with us on Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Ken Ackerman. When you hear the word ethics in government, do you automatically think oxymoron? Well, not necessarily, says our next guest. Please welcome Ron Bersin. He's the Executive Director of the Oregon Government Ethics Commission. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, when we talk about Ethics Commission, what is the purpose of the commission?
The purpose of the commission is essentially to create and establish transparency throughout government. We oversee a few sections of law. One of them, of course, is the ethics laws, the lobby regulations, and that small portion of the public meetings laws that has to do with executive sessions.
Now, you're not necessarily talking about investigating. You're gathering information, making information readily available to anyone who wants to see it. We
do investigate alleged violations of the laws. That is part of our purpose, but really our main focus is to try to educate the people, educate the public officials throughout the state of their obligations underneath these laws. And also try to educate the people of Oregon that we're here for them to contact if they see something inside of their government that they don't think is quite right.
What issues are most concerning to the Ethics Commission?
What we see most is people inside of government not disclosing their conflicts of interest. What you have to remember is that most public officials out there that are inside your local government are citizens or volunteer government. I mean, we just had an election. I'm sure there's new city council people out there. There's new school board members. There's all kinds of new people coming into government, and there are certain obligations that they have now to disclose to the public, again, about transparency, where their interests lie. If they're making decisions that could have a private pecuniary benefit to them or their relative, they have to disclose that, and Oregon laws require them to do that.
So for instance, if someone who is in an unpaid position on a school board and the school says we're going to build a new school, and yet their real job is a contractor. Is this what you're talking about?
It is what I'm talking about. They could have a potential conflict of interest that they would need to disclose. And of course, with the potential conflict of interest, they could continue to have those discussions, and they could continue those discussions right up to the point that they're deciding who's going to get that contract. And if they're in the mix, if their company's in the mix, then they have to declare an actual conflict of interest and recuse themselves from any participation, including the vote.
Now, how, if they're new in a position such as this, they've never been in it before, how are they educated?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that. Since I came onto the commission in November of 2006, and my big push has been to educate folks. What I saw as a history before I came on was there's a lot of people that come before the commission that inadvertently break these laws or violate these laws. And so my job, I felt anyway, was to educate these people coming on. And so the agency has had an extensive program to boost this education, not only through face-to-face type educations programs like this, but we've also now had a pretty aggressive online program where people can contact us, because you gotta remember, we gotta cover the whole state. And we live in Salem, so how do you educate somebody in Ontario, effectively anyway. And so we've created an online program where people can contact us. We will have our trainers online with them in real time, and they can ask us these questions and we can get that information to them. We also put out several publications, but the main thing is that we are making an aggressive effort to tell these folks that, hey, you've just joined the ranks of being a public official and there's certain obligations that you have.
Ron Bersin, thank you very much for joining us on Comcast Newsmakers. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate it.
And we want to thank you for being here as well from the Hollywood Theater, and for the crew here, make it a great day.